Gukesh is gearing up for the World Championship final showdown against Ding Liren. It's going to be an intense 14-game contest starting off in less than a month. The venue is a neutral one, Singapore's Sentosa, and while Gukesh has already had enough game time under his belt this year, he's added one more piece in the quest to solve the World Championship puzzle. The candidate's winner has included Paddy Upton in his support staff. For the uninitiated, Paddy Upton is a renowned mental conditioning coach from South Africa. Gukesh truly means business when he takes on Liren in the hopes of capping off a fantastic year already. Seems like the 18-year-old is covering all bases before he takes on the current world champion. Now, while the game preparations are mandatory and are on, Upton comprehends that the mental aspect, especially in a game like chess, is equally critical.
Everything can be right in the lead-up to the big moments of performance. But if the arrow is not sharp, it won't penetrate the bullseye. I think there is now more recognition in the world of sport of how mental gains can reduce these moments.
So what's Paddy Upton's experience like? Upton isn't just any coach. He helped the Indian cricket men's team win an ODI World Cup title after a gap of 28 years back in 2011. And just recently, he was part of the support staff with the Indian hockey team that won bronze at the Paris Olympics. So we can infer a few things from this. One, he has been part of triumphant campaigns. And two, he's aware of how the Indian sporting landscape and the Indian athletes function. Because in sports, like with cricket and hockey, expectations are massive. Given the fan following these two sporting disciplines have in the country and the legacy India has in both these sporting disciplines, the die-hard fans expect nothing less than victory. So the pressure is understandable. Every sports person part of these two winning campaigns that I mentioned just now, the Cricket World Cup and that bronze medal at the Olympics, have spoken of the burden of expectation, the pressure of it all. Gukesh too finds himself in similar territory because through his glorious year so far, the current world number 5 has become a bit of a household name. He was part of the Chess Olympiad gold medal winning team and also won an individual gold for his unbeaten run at the tournament. He became the youngest world championship challenger by winning the candidates tournament, and in a pre-build-up face-off against Liren in the Sinquefield Cup, Gukesh held the Chinese to a draw. The impact was such that China rested Liren for his match against Gukesh at the Olympiad. So Indian fans and the world of chess at large are watching every single move of this Indian prodigy. The expectations are such that chess great Magnus Carlsen believes Gukesh heads into this battle as the clear favorite.
Gukesh is a significant favorite. This is one of those matches where if Gukesh strikes first, he will win the match without any trouble. But the longer it goes without a first decisive game, the better it is for Ding. He has the ability, but he doesn't have the confidence.
So when you are aiming to becoming the youngest world champion, handling the mental aspect of it becomes very critical. That's clearly the biggest challenge because, as Carlsen pointed out, having confidence is key, something Gukesh is aware of. Because this is what he said right after winning that candidates tournament.
Stressful few weeks, but yeah, I can't help but already start thinking about the match. And it's going to be a challenge for sure. And yeah, it's going to be a new level of pressure and expectations. But I think if I continue to do the right things and if I continue to have the right kind of mentality, I'm sure I can handle it and I can achieve the goal.
Having the right mentality, pretty much the catchphrase for Gukesh going forward, because let's face it, no matter how mature Gukesh has gotten around to being through this year, he is after all a teenager who's on the cusp of making history, doing something no Indian, no human being has done. He will break records if this goes to plan. And carrying the weight of the world to defeat the world champion Ding Liren won't be easy. No matter how out of form Liren looks to be, he still is an experienced campaigner who is defending his title. So the move to add Upton becomes imperative. Gukesh is clearly thinking 2 steps ahead. Even with abundance of talent, the pressure can really get to you. Any opponent will only capitalize on that. No one knows this better than Liren, a world champion who had to take a long break himself to recover from his results, who battled mental health and fatigue and the pressure that followed. As mentioned to us in an interview he did recently, and isn't just Liren who's felt this pressure. Just a year ago, before Gukesh won the candidates tournament, he was at his lowest.
After the World Cup, things went horribly wrong. I was not in a good mental space. I had very bad results, but I was more frustrated for not being able to play anywhere near to my level. This probably was a phase that I felt at my lowest till now.
So we can see that it doesn't take long for things to turn. A year ago, Liren was a dominant force in chess, and a young Gukesh was struggling to find his own rhythm, his own form. And with the World Championship nearing, tables seems to have turned for both these players. Because in competitive and challenging tournaments like a World Championship, everything hangs in the balance. It is always the mental battle as much as the skills that will determine the outcome. And maybe the Upton edition will up Gukesh's mental game as he prepares for this big face-off.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.